How's it going, YouTube? I don't think I've met anyone who hasn't experienced or felt like an imposter. And I know that for the vast majority of my working life, I felt like one, predominantly because I didn't go through, well, as a master engineer, back in the day, the pathway to becoming one was going through the classical way, which was starting at the bottom, sweeping floors, getting lunches, making teas, doing that for a while to, prove yourself, and then perhaps become an assistant engineer, rolling out cables, and again, not doing anything too flash. But again, part of the so-called character building. And then eventually over time, you stuck it out and did all the hours, and you were trained, you became an engineer, and slowly started doing actual hands-on assisting, and eventually become an engineer. So it took quite a few years. And my colleagues, my peers, all of them pretty much went through that except for me. Mine was completely different. And so a big part of that, because all the way I learnt was basically I travelled overseas. I visited studios, I got to hang out. I never actually did a full apprenticeship. But I still got to learn through observation, through lots of different engineers. I still found myself back then to be somewhat of a fraud because everyone else was doing it the way they were doing it. And so didn't feel like I belonged to the club, one of the boys. Anywho, I got to a point where that feeling, I didn't realise how much that feeling stayed with me, like a monkey on my back, and I had tremendous anxiety around it because, in all honesty, I know it sounds crazy, but, even though I was successful and doing well, I still had this thing in the back of my head that said, one day they're going to find out, that you didn't go through the same system as everyone else, and therefore you are a fraud, an imposter, and you're going to get laughed out, and you can get cancelled, and all these horrible things are going to happen. And it wasn't until, well, let's just call him now, counsellor, therapist, anyway, a guy called Carlos, who I really thank for this, came up in discussion, and he was right puzzled. He looked at me, he said, "Oh, so you're an imposter, are you?" I was okay. You've been doing this for how many years? How many people come to see you? Look at all the artists you work with. And I thought, well, yeah, but I still didn't think that way. I still didn't think that I was qualified or somehow legitimate. And he said to you, so what makes you so special to think that these people are going to make a charity case out of you? These people who work so hard on their music, they come to you for the final step of the process, a vital part of the process, the make or break you could say, and they're just going to trust you with that because, they feel sorry for you. They want to make you feel better. And that really struck me. Really stopped in my tracks and went, wow, I never thought of it that way. So from that point, things shifted for me quite dramatically. And I remember writing a blog about it on Facebook 5 years ago, maybe more. Really spilt my guts. Because I thought a lot of people I know, if I'm feeling it, I'm sure a lot of people are. And to my absolute surprise, I was DM'd by all these engineers, bigger than me in the field, bigger fish. He said to me, in confidence, wow, man, you have no idea how I still feel that way. And I'm going, what? What? You? Are you shitting me? And yet, these guys were telling me that they still felt like imposters. Now, one thing I want to clear up here, and it's a very important distinction. A lot of us who don't take compliments or try and sort of, not so much belittle, but we just try and keep things in check. I think people try to be humble, and they won't take on too much adulation, as a way to keep their ego in check. But for me, I was conflating humility and humiliation. And it's important to be humble. It's important to keep your ego in check. It's important to understand that, while, yes, you may be good at what you do and you can acknowledge that, there's always room to grow. But that doesn't make you an imposter, all right? Have yourselves a good one. Please remember, be nice to each other, but more importantly, be nice to yourselves. If you do like the content I put out, please like, share, subscribe to the channel, share it to someone who you think might benefit. And yeah, food for thought if you think you're an imposter. All right, catch you guys later.